What is up, my spooky sluts? Today we're going to be going over Halloween hunting for June. Just as a little bit of context for my Halloween hunting series, I only do one video a month instead of the weekly or bi-weekly uploads that a lot of YouTubers do, because one, that's just a lot of fucking work, and I am not doing YouTube full-time at the moment. Subscribe, maybe that'll change in the future, but that is just too much for my personal realistic schedule. And two, just I am very, very disillusioned with consumerism right now, so really trying to not add to the purchasing stress of early seasonal purchases and things. I just have a lot of opinions about Halloween decor and talking about it. And I know a lot of you guys do as well, or you just like seeing them. So I love doing the Halloween hunting videos, but we're only doing one per month to not add to the code orange panic. But with that being said, I did get a couple of purchases to show you guys because I am so disillusioned with consumerism right now, and also just my own personal spending habits. I'm really trying not to buy a lot this year, but there have been a few purchases that end up corresponding with things I just either really, really love or needed in context outside of Halloween, and just happened to find products that work. But instead of doing a haul video at the end of the season or throughout the season, I'm just going to be showing you guys what I get in the Halloween hunting videos. So I do have a few items to show you this time around. Without further ado, let's go ahead and actually look at some stores. So first up, on June 14th, I went to Joann Fabric and Crafts in Poway, which is somewhere that I've already shown. It's very much a lot of the same stuff that we already saw last month, because Joann is definitely the place that has put their Halloween stuff out the earliest this year. So we're seeing a lot of the same kind of celestial, fast fashion, witchy kind of collection that they have this year, as well as a lot of their fake skeletons and skulls and anatomically incorrect fake animals and things like that. And just a little bit of expansion on some of the Halloween stuff that we already saw last month, just slowly expanding to further shelves and aisles and things like that. And they've also put out some of their Halloween fabrics this year, which are very, very pretty. I definitely want to make something out of them, and I personally just don't know what, but I do think that some of their Halloween fabrics, or just spooky, dark aesthetic fabrics, are very, very pretty. I also went to Costco in Poway on this day because my mom had actually said she saw online that there were code oranges there and they were already putting out their Halloween collections, which honestly I didn't even realize that Costco did Halloween collections. They didn't have a lot put out, but they did have this one little end cap of Disney Halloween figurines. So they had those set up. So if you are a Disney collector, that is definitely something to check out. They were quite loud and obnoxious though. And then on June 22nd, I went back to Joann in Poway. But again, just a lot of the same stuff, but slightly expanded. They're definitely putting more out on the shelves and kind of finalizing their schematics for different aisles and things. It was actually quite funny because on this day, there were two other girls, probably around similar age to I am, my mid-20s, and they were also very clearly there for Halloween hunting. So we kept kind of doing a dance, alternating aisles, trying to kind of avoid each other, until finally I was just I don't fucking care if they watch me film, because it was entirely my I kept trying to stay out of their way. Because, like, I love Halloween hunting videos, but I'm never going to get footage at the expense of somebody else's, like, in-person experience. Like, I'm not going to cut people off or get in people's way or, like, make anybody uncomfortable thinking I might be filming around them or anything. But, like, they were clearly there for the same thing I was, so I was just like, fuck it. Like, I don't care if they see me, like, filming on the other side of the aisle. And it actually was quite funny because I had overheard them talking, and they were, like, super into the, like, fake cardboard books. Because one of the girls was, like, talking about she's doing, like, a spooky, dark aesthetic, like, library kind of scheme for a bedroom that she's decorating. And I happened over here, and I was just, like, not to eavesdrop, but, like, I just happened over here, and I was like, oh, by the way, like, pro tip, these boxes are, like, really easy to upholster, so if you go other places and, like, buy out of season ones on sale, you can buy whatever fabric you want and, like, upholster the outside. And she thought that was such a cute idea, and we just, like, chatted for a second. So that was kind of fun. And then I actually did purchase a few things on this day. First up, I got this little vintage blow mold looking ghost ornament, which is so cute. I absolutely adore this. I was super stoked to find it because I had seen it several times online, like other people had posted on Instagram and stuff, and I had no idea that it was a piece from Joann's. I don't know why I thought that it was something from At Home, but I got this little guy because I have a huge thing for ghosts. I have a huge thing for vintage Halloween. And then I also got this jewelry box that, like, goes like that, and then you can open it up. And I'm actually very excited about this because I don't currently have a jewelry box to have, like, a little section for just, like, little sentimental trinkety things and, like, my everyday use jewelry and stuff like that. Like, I can put my different, like, plugs and nose rings and things like that in here. Especially because it has this kind of, like, smoky, smudged, just, like, aged outside to it. I actually quite like that, especially for the jewelry box idea, because, like, you can still see through it, but not entirely. So it's not going to be, like, entirely like, you can't see all the clutter inside, but kind of. Just, like, I thought that this was perfect for that use. So I know I was saying that I was, like, trying not to really buy a lot of Halloween stuff this year, but technically that is a practical purchase. So technically so far only one Halloween purchase, which was the little ghosty, and technically I could make the argument that it was a Christmas purchase. I also went to At Home in Carmel Mountain on this day, and like I've said many times before, my location of At Home is just so late to the game. So, like, literally at this point, I've seen other people's stores, like, completely have their entire collections out. There was, like, a little display of, like, autumnal pumpkin-shaped candles. So we have, like, a little taste of, like, autumn is coming. And they've finally started clearing out some of their summer aisles to, like, make room for the Halloween stuff, but no Halloween stuff yet. And then on June 25th, I went to Michael's in Carmel Mountain, and they didn't have anything super explicitly Halloween. They had the start of some of their, like, autumnal fall kind of, like, floral stuff out, and they also had the remnants of the spring Nevermore collection, which is very similar to Halloween collections they've done in the past. And this particular location had, I feel like, a lot of different stuff left over than the Poway location leftovers that we saw in May. So it was interesting to see how different, like, how popular different items were at different locations and what was left over at each one. And I went back to At Home on this day as well, just to pop in, because, like, literally so many people keep posting that, like, At Home is full code orange, like, they have aisles and aisles and full collections out. And mine just is always so late to the game. And I know that at this point, but it's still, like, I just always convince myself that, like, this is going to be the day. And this was the day. We did get baby code orange at Home finally. It was technically all in the instance of, like, outdoor decor in pieces and like nothing super major. We did just get in the kind of like large outdoor decor section that they have. There was this like giant skeleton thing coming out of the ground that I have seen online and I thought was a Costco piece. But then I saw it at home and was like, oh, I guess I was wrong and it's an at-home piece. But then I just saw it again the other day and the person said it was from Costco. So I don't know if they just have the exact same piece or very similar pieces, but there's this giant skeleton coming out of the ground. And then like way far in the distance, they had like the start of some pumpkins and like autumnal floral looking stuff. But again, like nothing in their main aisles, nothing in their seasonal spots. Like we still haven't gotten the full proper Halloween release yet, but there is a little taste of it coming out. And then on June 28th, I went to Michael's in Poway and literally immediately walk in and I am greeted with them actively putting out their Halloween collection. They have this like pink and orange 70s disco inspired Halloween collection this year, which is certainly something. I literally, like, I told my mom that and she just looked at me and was like, what the fuck did you just say? Like, she could not comprehend that that was a Halloween collection. And then we went into Michael's and sure as shit, that is the first thing you see when you walk in is just this like bright, not quite pastel, but not quite neon, just like vibrant colored 70s groovy disco wannabe inspired, but then Halloween products. It's very unique to say the least, and I appreciate them trying to do something new, but I don't know if they hit the mark on this one. Like, I liked the idea of a lot of the products, but in reality, they're a little weird. I'm gonna be so real. I just don't really picture who's actually gonna go for this, because like the products are too niche to appeal to the general public, but then they're too basic for people who are into different vintage things to go for. So I'm very curious to see who ends up purchasing pieces from this collection, and I would love to see how different people style them. I'm so curious. Also, if a lot of the footage that I have for this section is like a little jerky, it's because like the employees were actively putting it out while I was there. So I was trying as much as possible to like stay out of their way and like not be obvious that I was filming. So shout out to the couple of guys who were setting it up. They also had their like pillow section started and kind of just like a general kind of decor type of section off the side. And I got even less footage of this section because again, that was where they were more actively working. But they definitely have some cute pillows this year. And then they had some just like odds and ends. They had like a whole end cap of like Halloween ribbons and things, and you know, a little bit like floral bits and bobs, of course, because like it's a craft store, so actual products to like help in craft projects and not just like stuff that's already made and decor that's done. Now that I think about that, that is a little weird that Michael's has so many products that are already just done and made, because it is ultimately like a craft supply store. I don't think I ever actually thought about that or processed that until now, but that is a little odd now that I think about it, right? And then on this day, I also went to the Salvation Army in Poway. And I don't know how y'all feel about like looking at other people's thrift stores, because obviously like these aren't going to be products that are replicated or that you can kind of just get anywhere. But like my point of making these videos is I like discussing and looking at the decor. Like I'm not trying to tell you like, oh, what you should or shouldn't buy and like stuff. So like I'm okay with it not being stuff that can be replicated, and I actually think it's really interesting to see what other thrift stores have. Maybe not necessarily from all these different like questionable corporations, but I'll take what I can get. This is the only place that I've managed to find like Halloween stuff at year round, and it's actually cool because this particular location has like an aisle that does seasonal stuff year round, so there's always a handful of Halloween stuff and then a fair amount of Christmas stuff. And I did pick something up today. I got this little light up pumpkin guy. He does light up. I did plug him in and it totally works. So I got this vintage jack-o'-lantern light that is actually from 1998. So it does say on the back. I did pay a little bit more than I wanted to for it being a thrift store, but I do think it was on sale. So I think I maybe only paid $4 instead of $8. So actually $4 is not, I'd take that back. $4 is fine. But yeah, this is as old as I am. So one, I could not believe that the light in it still worked. I was going to buy it whether or not like the light worked. I just thought it was cool that it did, but I was technically planning on replacing the light anyways with something a little bit safer because the cord is definitely very aged and does not look the safest. And I don't play with electricity. I am not that bitch. So yeah, I just thought he was super cool. And again, I love a good vintage Halloween piece. So I was very excited to find this guy. We can share a birthday. He's cool. But that was the last piece that I got this month and the last day that I went out Halloween hunting for the month of June. Have I been saying July throughout this video? I meant June. Whatever. Time doesn't exist. It's the middle of summer and there's Halloween stuff out. Time isn't real and means nothing. But those were all of the things that I managed to check out and see Halloween related. I hope y'all are having some great Summerween vibes and I will see you next month.